All right. By a show of hands, who in the audience believes that the United States is a republic? Two. How many believe that the United States is a democracy? Two. Very interesting. And the answer is, it's a republic. That's key. Remember that. I'm going to come back to it. It's very important. Why we're here? I am here to ask you to join me in rescinding the Electoral College process. That's the process that we have today that elects our president and our vice president. I believe it's outdated. I believe it prohibits a voice for the minority parties in each state to have their voices heard. Not a minority as in race, but the minority party, okay? Key word there. The electoral process is used to elect the president and vice president. No other office in the country uses this process. Mayor, governor, senator, representatives, they're all voted in by popular vote. Some background. The 12th Amendment was ratified in 1804. Back in 1804, we had horse and buggies. We didn't have computers, we didn't even have telephones. It was impossible for our individual voices to be heard at the national level. We could do it at the local level, but we couldn't do it at the national level. So what we did is we ratified this, and we sent representatives to act on our behalf to issue our vote as to who should be president and vice president. Today, there's 538 electoral votes nationwide. It's made up of the 435 representatives that are currently in Congress, plus the 100 senators, plus 3 additional votes that are given to the District of Columbia. Each state, except for 2, has a winner-take-all process. What that means is, whoever wins the most votes in that state gets all of the electoral votes for that state. It's winner take all. The candidate who receives the majority, key word, I've got that highlighted, the majority of the electoral votes, which is 270, wins the presidency. Remember I asked you what the difference is between a democracy and a republic. Some key words here. In a democracy, the minority has no protection against the unlimited power of the majority. Basically, it's the majority who wins. I take a vote. If 5 votes say yes and 4 votes say no, the majority wins. Minority gets nothing. Republic. They have a written constitution, which we do. We have basic rights, which we do, that protects the minority from being completely unrepresented and overridden by the majority. Key there, remember that the majority can override the minority. This is the Electoral College as it exists today. California has 55 electoral votes. Whoever wins the majority of the votes in California wins those 55 electoral votes. Same way with Texas, same way with all the other states. The winner gets all. The minority gets nothing. So you see right there where the minority is overridden by the majority. But the Republic says we are protected. Do you see where the difference is there? 55 electoral votes is going to go to the winner of the state. Here's a prime example. For those of you who were here in 2000, and if you remember, there was a very contentious vote between Bush and Gore. Bush won the national electoral vote. He got 271 votes. It takes 270 to win. He won the presidency by 1 vote. How did he win? He won because the Supreme Court voted that the Florida electoral votes would go to him. Remember the hanging Chad? Bush got all of Florida's 29 electoral votes. George Bush won the presidency. However, Gore had the popular vote. Gore had more popular votes than George Bush. Again, the majority overruled the minority. Do you see where the confluence is there? What I'm recommending is that we get rid of the Electoral College process. It's outdated. It worked back in 1804 because they didn't have the process that they have today. Today, we have the electronic, we have the technology, we have the ability to have our individual voices heard. In California, if you're in that minority party, whichever one it may be, your voice can still be heard if we go to the popular vote. If we stay with the Electoral College, if you're in that minority vote, your vote will not be heard. So please, join me in rescinding the Electoral College process and allowing our minority votes to be heard and going to the popular vote. Thank you very much.